What's going on, everybody? Today I wanted to do a review of a tool that I came across. Honestly, I can't remember. I don't know if it was an EDC website, if it was social media, Instagram, Facebook, a post there. Either way, I saw a picture of this tool and was pretty intrigued by it. It seemed kind of unique. There's a lot of different pry tools out there in the world. Some are great, some not so great. I think there's some that have a few added features to them that do a very good job of adding those features, and then there's others that have like little ratcheting screwdrivers and all this other stuff on them that just, in my opinion, I've tried them out, they don't really work so great. To each his own. That's not a critique of anybody who wants to carry something like that, but for me, when I'm looking for a pry bar or an EDC pry bar or a pocket pry bar tool, I want it to be able to pry and to do things that my knife otherwise wouldn't. So with that being said, I found this Rogan pry bar tool. Now this is the Rogan pocket pry bar. So I believe it's the Rogan pocket tool is what they call it. So it's the RPT. The lanyard did come with it with the cool little knot at the end. It's a nice little touch. But before we get into this, Rogan sent out a couple stickers, which is pretty cool. And then I think this is actually a pretty nice touch. So the owner drops you a little note in there. Thanks for your purchase. There's my signature, email, website if you have any questions or comments. So well done. They are pretty active on social media. That's actually how I found them, was on Instagram. I actually saw a picture of this once I figured out the name of the company on their Instagram and was like, hey, do you guys have any more? And Mr. Rogan said, well, actually I don't. I've got a factory second. If you want it, you can buy it. So I did. So this is a factory second, I believe, from what he said. I don't know if it's going to pick up on here, but there was some discoloration on the pry bar itself, or on the tip of the pry bar. I don't think it's gonna pick up some. So this is considered a factory second. He said the finish on the top wasn't as great as the other ones. For me personally, I couldn't really tell. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera. There's a little discoloration right here on the chisel tip, but I mean, it's a pry bar tool, right? You don't buy it to make it look pretty. However, these actually, the aesthetic on them, I love the simplicity of it. It is a hunk of steel, a stainless steel that has a good edge to it. It's not sharp like a knife, but it definitely, I've used it to open boxes and things like that. So let's do a couple quick stats on it, and then we will talk a little bit more about some uses. So grab a tape measure in it, and the tool comes in at around, let's see, right at 4 5/8. Is that what that is? There's a little bit of a glare on it. Yeah, we'll call it 4 5/8. So just under 4 3/4 inches long. Thickness, I believe, is a couple 16ths thick. Honestly, which is perfect. The weight on this guy, let's grab a little scale and see what we can see here. Go ahead and tear that. So 78 or 79, excuse me, grams. Let's see. Sorry, this was set up for coffee earlier today. 2.8 ounces. So not that bad. It's definitely something you'll notice in the pocket. It's not the most, it's not the lightest thing in the world, but again, it's a solid tool. I've used this, like I said earlier, for this little beveled edge here is pretty good for if you have a fire steel, right? And you want to use that to throw some sparks and get your fire started. This is a great tool for that. These edges right here have a little bit of bite to them. They're not, I mean, I'm rubbing my fingers all over it. You're not gonna cut yourself on them, draw blood, anything like that. But I've used this to open some packages, and it's worked great on this tip side here. And then digging through stuff, I gave this to my 3-year-old and let him go dig in the dirt with it a little bit, and he was able to play around quite fine. So he liked it. I had to fight him to get it back. Rogan's got a couple of different tools out there. They are primarily, when I was speaking to the owner, he was doing these for his buddies that were in the service, so I believe it was the Marine Corps. Correct me if I'm wrong there, and some EOD guys. And he started making them for them, and then people were like, man, that's really cool. You should make some more, and he's making some more. And small shop out of Florida, I think it's pretty cool given everything that's going on today to be able to support a smaller business and not go buy something that's manufactured by a huge company. Again, not there's anything wrong with any of the big companies, but support some smaller businesses if you can. So overall, phenomenal tool. I have, like I said, opening boxes, if you've got to pry something out, dig something out, it works great. I actually used it this afternoon. We had some touch-up paint for our walls. Popped it underneath the paint can and popped it open, and it worked just fine. So it has got enough weight to it that if you want to sit there and hit a little bit, I mean, it'll knock some stuff back in place. It knocked a seal around the paint can just fine. I'm sure a hammer could do a lot better job, but again, in a pinch, this will work nicely. So I highly recommend this tool. It's got a lot of great uses to it. I'm excited to carry it and kind of see what I can use it for, what I do use it for. Tools like this are always kind of fun for me. I think, at least for me, this was definitely a utility thing, right? So I needed to and wanted to get a newer pry bar, and a little bit bigger one. I have a Gerber shard, sits on my keys. It works fine, but this is going to have some more leverage. But I really like the clean design of it. I like the logo, the simple made in the USA. You can get a couple other different ones. There's some stars and stripes and a few other things that you can put on here if you want. I just like the clean look of the made in the USA. But this was definitely had some cool factor to it to me from a simplicity standpoint. So I'm excited to see how much more uses what more uses I can get out of this tool and go from there. So appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, please feel free to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe. We're going to have more gear reviews coming out. And hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks again.